With the dust now settled on what is now officially Scotland's most successful showing at the Commonwealth Games, it would be appropriate to take note of some of the young stars who excelled in their field. Ross Murdoch, Hannah Miley, Libby Clegg and Eddie Davies are just a few of Scotland's most successful stars from the Games. It is safe to say that we Scots have always been an athletic nation, and some of the country's successes are closer to Inverclyde than you may think. Allow me to set the scene. The year is 1969. Scotland is preparing to play host to the British Commonwealth Games. Work has been carried out throughout Edinburgh in order to meet deadlines set by Games coordinators. A team of workmen cheer loudly at the half-finished Meadowbank Stadium as a field of runners, including notable names such as Donald Ritchie, Jim Wright and Hugh Mitchell, took to the track to compete in the SAAA Marathon Championship. However, at the end of the race, it was not any of the aforementioned names that people are talking about. It was a 38-year-old maths and physics teacher from Greenock named Bill Stoddart. Bill's finishing time was 2 hours 27 minutes and 25 seconds. His closest competitor, Hugh Mitchell, was 2 hours 31 minutes and 30 seconds, over 4 minutes behind the Greenock man. From here on, Bill would go from strength to strength, successfully winning world titles in every 5-year category for ages 40 through to 65. At the age of 61, when most people are slowing down, Bill won 4 gold medals in the men's 60 class in both 10 and 25k events at the World Championships in Birmingham and collected the award for outstanding performance. What goes on to make Bill even more impressive is that in 1997, at the age of 65, when most people tend to think about retirement, Bill was still running, taking gold and 2 silver medals in the World Veteran Track Championship in Durham, South Africa. And despite an Achilles injury, would cap off a successful year by winning 2 more gold medals and a silver at the British Veteran Track Championship. What makes Bill Stoddart stand out as a true sporting hero is his undying passion for the sport, and that he competed, in his own words, without picking up a cent, all for the glory of the sport.
I would say just when he started running for Britain, he started, you know what it's like on the television and that. As soon as they win something, everyone wants to sponsor you. So that was more or less that. Reebok, they supplied all his shoes and a lot of his gear. Yeah, they were very good.
Born in Greenock on the 2nd of May in 1931, William Stoddart was always seen as an athletic child, something that would follow him to his teenage years and early adulthood. Before entering national service in 1952, Bill was a notoriously good table tennis player, winning numerous championships at both junior and senior level. On top of this, Bill was also an excellent footballer, with many saying that he had the potential to turn professional if he wanted.
Well, once he came to age to go into the forces, he played football when he was away in the forces, but then when he went into the RAF, he started with athletics, just to get him out of doing work. Then when he come back, we'll get married.
During his time in the service, Bill was stationed in the Black Forest, Germany. Bill looked to athletics and football, as well as his beloved table tennis, to keep himself fit and his mind occupied. As Bill himself said, the only other option was to get drunk with his colleagues. Being a notoriously good sportsman, it was only a matter of time before he noticed that he was able to run faster, farther and longer than his friends, and Bill took the opportunity that the service life provided him, competing in and winning numerous honours for the RAF at home and abroad until 1954, when he left the service. After leaving the service, Bill moved back to Greenock and married his long-time sweetheart Betty at the age of 23.
We've been going with each other since I was 16 and Bill would be 8. Well, we both worked in Kincaid's engineering works, and we went to the YMCA in Greenock. It used to be an American place when the Americans were there, and it ended up as a wee dance hall, so that's where I met.
It was while back in Greenock that Bill further developed his attributes as a runner, joining the Greenock Well Park Harriers, who fed his appetite and who Bill stays fiercely loyal to this day. Throughout his 20s and most of his 30s, Bill, by his own admission, was no more than a good club runner, training just twice a week and competing in only the odd cross-country mile and half-mile. He was devoting most of his energy to building up his career as a draftsman, while also pursuing his old loves of table tennis and football. Now in his 30s, Bill had served his time as a draftsman and completed his studies to making him a qualified chartered engineer. It was at this time that he moved from the industry sector to education, becoming a lecturer in engineering and management, and being one for self-improvement, Bill took the opportunity to further his own education by gaining a BA Honours degree from the Open University, as well as a Master's degree from Strathclyde University in Industrial Relations.
Decided after he was sent back in Caves for a wee while he wanted to do something else, so he then decided we'd get into further education. When it was during the war and they get very little education because they were sent away over to Mull. So after he came back from the forces he decided he was wanting to do something else with his life. So.
Academic life offered much more free time and allowed Bill to focus on his training and become more serious about his athletics, a luxury that he would not have been afforded had he stayed in industry. His training was further supplemented when he met an old RAF friend, Andy Brown, at a national cross-country event. Andy informed him that if he stuck to a training schedule, Bill was more than capable of making the Scottish team. In making the national team at this late juncture in life, the Well Park Carrier had what he described as the great honour of being part of one of the greatest ever Scottish cross-country teams and attending the World Championships in Vichy. Among those he travelled to France with were Lackey Stewart, Ian McCafferty, Ian Stewart, Gareth Brian Jones and Jim Alder. It was a team capable of a top 3 place. In the end, however, it failed to place amongst the medals as the team got caught up in travelling overnight due to strikes in Paris and arrived late and tired to the event. Bill also suffered his fair share of injuries. In 1974, while competing in the South West Cross Country Championships, he ran over a rock with his spikes and was forced to pull out of the race. The next week, thinking that it was a minor matter and had cleared up, he entered another race. In fact, he had fractured an ankle, and racing again so soon had turned it into a compound fracture. Out of training and racing for almost a year as a result of the injury, he gave up the ideas of continuing to compete as a senior and began from then on to concentrate on veteran racing. After a year off rehabilitating his injury and at the age of 43, Bill returned to athletics and was almost better than he had ever been. As the Greenock Carrier hit his peak, the veteran racing scene also grew in popularity, allowing Bill to become something of a legend in the circuit as he grabbed the Scottish, British and World Championships. As a veteran runner, Stoddart also went on to break and hold numerous records. In June 1992 at the Arbroath Half Marathon, Bill achieved the world's best in the over 60s age group, finishing in 75 minutes 53 seconds. He also holds the world's best records in his age group for the men's 10k road race with a time of 34 minutes 51 seconds, as well as the record in the 10-mile road race, 57 minutes and 43 seconds. Despite holding numerous records and winning countless trophies, one of Bill's proudest achievements was winning the Inverclyde Folk Marathon in 1981. With a field of 500 hungry competitors and at the age of 50, Bill would go on to clock a personal best of 2 hours, 27 minutes and 53 seconds, only 20 seconds outside of the world record for a man of his age. Travelling the world competing was not something Bill was content to do alone, and would often be accompanied by his wife Betty, who joined him on race days throughout the world. Spain was a particular favourite of the couple, where they would spend the chilly Scottish winters in the warm Spanish climate.
Well, it ended up, once he retired, we went to Spain for 5 months. and we ran all over Spain. Well, we didn't run, Bill ran over Spain. And I was the bag lady, I carried all the bags. But that was another good life. We used to go away in November and come back in March.
Bill's training regime is nothing complex. As Bill himself states, "I'm not a scientific runner. I do 10 to 12 miles every day, but I'm not obsessed by the stopwatch while I'm doing it. I aim to keep an even pace. Speed work frightens me. It can lead to too many injuries." In the morning, Bill has a healthy breakfast followed by his morning swim, accompanied by half an hour of intensive deep water training, a type of training used for those with muscular injuries, but Bill believes it makes him stronger. The afternoon usually comprises of around 40 minutes to an hour of easy running and strides, just enough to keep the muscles loose and working. In the afternoon, Bill takes off on an arduous 4-mile run around a number of locations in Greenock, with one of his particular favourites being the Battery Park. With modern athletes earning thousands through branding and sponsorship deals, Bill feels no bitterness towards his modern day counterparts. Although he thinks he might well have achieved more had he taken running more seriously at an earlier age, Stoddart doesn't regret the way he's done things, and exudes the qualities associated with old-fashioned athletics values, and simply ran for the love of running.
When he went to get his mob, the commanding officer says, "I don't really know you very well." And one of the officers says, "I called him the fan picture, he was never there."